Learn how to finger knit from beginning to end, including connecting as you go to make larger and larger projects. Welcome to GoodKnit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. Well, welcome back. We are working on finger knitting. I'm going to start from the very beginning, getting the yarn on my hands, which is called casting on. We're working with one strand of medium weight yarn, and then we're pulling 3 from that one strand called Navajo plying technique. I'm not going to cover that here today, but I'm using 3 strands of medium weight, or you can use a bulky weight. If you'll click down in the link below to the blog, you'll find all the information you need, including the first video I did on this several years ago. I've gotten a lot of requests to start from the very beginning, so that's what I'm doing today. You're going to be starting making this length that you want, so however long you want your project, if it's a scarf or a cowl or even a blanket, and then I'm going to show you how to connect as you go to make it wider. And so get all the information on the tools and this Navajo plying technique, click on the link below again for the blog. All right, grab your supplies and we'll begin. All right, so I've got my 3 strands of yarn, and we want to make a slip knot to start off. So you can make it however you're comfortable with. This is how I do it. I wrap it around my index finger, my pointer finger first twice. I lift the back loop over the front loop, and it's just slightly, okay? And then I move it up and over the tip of my finger. So the back loop, the new back loop is now up and over that one, and you pull it, and it makes a nice little slip knot. And then I just leave it on my finger, just kind of rotate it to the back. So it's here, now I'm running it to the back. And then I'm going to take my working yarn, not the little tail here, but I'm going to take my yarn that's coming from the ball and move on to my next stitch. Make sure this is nice and tight. I want to make sure that my cast on row is actually tight, and so I'm going to make sure that once I knit these stitches over, I'm going to keep it towards the tip of my finger without it falling off so that it remains nice and tight and we won't get this really loose edge. So we're going to wrap around twice on our next finger and lift that bottom section of 3. Make sure and pull all 3 of the strands over if you're using the smaller strands. Lift up and over, and then pull on the yarn and tug it to make sure it's nice and tight, okay? And don't push it way down on your fingers just yet. And then we want to do the next one. We're going to wrap around twice and lift up and over, and then pull out that loose slack, that extra yarn there, okay? On the other video, I did it as a thumb cast on, where I pull it and then wrap my thumb around and twist it, and then I put it on. But what happens is it actually ends up being too loopy or too loose. And so we're just going to do it this way. So we're this is called a double E wrap. It looks like a cursive E. So we're wrapping it twice, lifting up and over, and then pulling that tight. So now we have 4 stitches. And we want to work our way back to my index finger. I'm at my pinky. And I'm going to say index and pinky and all that because I'm going to flip this video and you'll have a right and left-handed video. All right, so we're going to move this to the other side, putting our working yarn on top of all of our stitches, and we just lift up and over. And every time we do that, it forms a knit stitch. And I'll show you what that stitch looks like in a moment. So just going to lift up and over. If you see in the back here, I actually have a loom knit hook or tool, and you can actually take this, a pick, like loom pick, it has different names to it, and you can take that and use it to help you get those stitches up and over if you're having a hard time pinching it and moving it with your fingers. All right, so I made my first row. I'm back to my index finger, and all you do is repeat that step. So you're just going to put your yarn to the front and work all the stitches, okay? So in order to make this project connect as you go, and now I can put, by the way, let me interrupt myself and push these down a little bit. But in order to connect as you go, it's best to knit all 4 stitches. There are videos and methods of taking the finger knitting and not working the very first stitch, and what it does is it slips it, but we don't want to slip it. We actually need that extra stitch that forms so that we can grab the edge and connect panels as we go. So you're just going to keep working until you get the length that you want. So if you want a 6-foot scarf, then you need to knit 6 feet, and go ahead and kind of pull on this because it'll be tight a little bit, and you want to pull on it so that it kind of elongates. So this is what you're making right here. You're making this just long column of work. Once you get to the length you want that fits your bed or your neck or whatever it is, then you're going to pause your video, or you're going to start your video over. So you're going to pause here, work on your stuff, and meet me back after a moment, and we will learn how to finish off the end if you're done with it and you want to be finished with finger knitting, or we'll also bind it off and get down to one stitch and start connecting these panels. If you need to set your work down, here's a quick tip for you. Put some scrap yarn or use a stitch holder to go through all the loops off of your fingers. That way you can close it up and set it aside and come back when you're ready. All right, pause your video and I will see you in a little bit. All right, so as promised, I wanted to show you what the knit stitch looked like. As you're working, you've noticed that it kind of rolls up in the back, and the back of it has this loopy or bumpy effect here in the back. That is actually the back of a knit stitch, which is called the purl, and so it has this little purl bump here. If I flip it over, the part that is where my fingers are here, when I flip it like this, you can actually see this is what's called the right side of the work. So this is actually the knit stitch, and it has this V here. It has this V shape like this. That is the knit stitch, and the back of it is always a reverse, which is the purl. And so when we start making and connecting these panels, you're going to see that here is the knit stitch here, and then the purl stitch where we're going to connect the next panel flips on and connects at the back. And so it gets this ribbed look here. Okay, if I flip it on the other side, it's opposite. So this one here is going to look knit. You see how that's knit here? So that's what we're going to be accomplishing, and we're going to be picking up stitches from the side. But first, let's finish this right now so that you have one length. Okay, so we're going to make sure that our yarn is on the left here, and in order to bind off, we're going to knit this first stitch. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Here we go. All right, so binding off, we're going to knit the first stitch. That's our index finger. And then we're going to knit the second stitch. That's our middle finger. And then we're going to pick up the second stitch and move it on to the first. And then we're going to lift up and over, and we've bound off one stitch. Okay. Then we've got it on our index finger. We're going to move that over to the next finger. Okay. And now we're going to knit the second stitch. So the one on our middle finger is now our first stitch. We're moving on to the second. You're going to knit that, move it over to the one, and knit that. Okay, pick it up and move it over to that empty finger there, and knit that last stitch. Pick it up, move it over, and work it. Okay, and so now we have successfully bound off 1, 2, 3 stitches. Okay, if you are done with your knitting and you only want one length, then what you do is you just simply cut this yarn and pull it all the way through, and then you have a tail, and then you could take a tapestry needle and weave it through the side, and you're done. But because we want to connect panels, this is where you're going to pick it up and move it onto your index finger like this. Okay, and so now you're ready to connect. So to connect, you're going to take your knitting and flip it to the back, so where we can see the wrong side of it right in front of us, and we're actually going to be joining on the back of this work as we go. We're going to be working from top down, because this was the beginning here. Okay, so this was the bottom. We went all the way up to the top, and now we're flipping it over, and we're working on the back here, picking up these stitches as we go. So we're going to need to add on more stitches. So all you're going to do is cast on again. You've already got, pretend like this is your slip knot. It's the same exact thing. You're going to double wrap your finger and knit over and tighten it and move on. Double wrap your finger, knit over, tighten it, move on. Double wrap the next finger, knit over, tighten it up. And you're ready to work on row 1. So we're going to work our way from pinky to index finger and knit this first row, move that down when you've got enough space there. Let's see, there we go. This first row is always tight, or I want it tight. Okay. All right. So now that I've got that row, I want to make sure my working yarn is in the front, because I'm going to be picking up stitches along this edge, and it's critical that you pick it up correctly. So we're along this side over here. Okay, I'm going to pick this up and kind of pull my stitches out. You can see it's connected to this stitch here, and then you can see this little loose part here. Okay, just that is connected right down here at the base. So we're going to ignore this, but this nice loose thing is what we're going to look down here for. So we go down until we find the next one, which is nice and loose, and we're going to pick up this one here. So we're going to pick up this outside stitch and place it on our finger. Oops, and I've done something I shouldn't. I've got to have that yarn to the front here. Okay, so I've got my yarn to the front. We're picking up this stitch and putting it on our index finger, and now we're just going to work 2 stitches over one. So we're going to lift that one up and over, and this next one up and over, and then tighten it. And now we move on to finish the rest of this row. Knit up and over, and knit it, and knit it. Okay, so that is a row 2. Row 2 is the pickup row. So we're going to do another row 1 repeat where we work back to where we're connecting, just knitting all 4 stitches. All right. Okay, we're on the next one, which is where we're joining or connecting. We put our yarn to the front. We come down here and we see this long connecting strand. It's easier to see now. And then we're going to skip down until we see the next outside strand. It's nice and loose. Okay, see how this is kind of rolling? We're going to pick this strand up, place it, okay, and then knit 2 over 1. Okay, again, you can use your loom tool if you want, if that's easier for you. And knit up and over and finish out that row. All right, and then work your way back. And that's it. You're just going to keep connecting as you go until you get to the very end. I'm going to continue working all the way down until here, and I'll show you again how to take it and flip it, because that's the critical part, that you take it and flip it and get it bound off at the correct spot here. Otherwise, it'll get smaller and smaller as you go if you don't connect it in the right way. All right, pause your video, and I'll see you in a moment. All right, so you're down at the very end, and we've got this leading stitch and then one more right near where we had done our original cast on. So we're going to place that stitch. Actually, I need to do my last row. Sorry, I got to work my way down here. All right, now we're going to put the yarn in the front and grab that stitch that I was just talking about, place it, and then work these 2 stitches over the one. We're actually going to start our bind off here. So you've already worked that stitch, so now we're going to work on the number 2 stitch and then move it to the 1 and then work that stitch, pick it up and move it over to the empty finger, work the next one, pick that one up and move it to the 1 stitch and work that stitch, pick it up and move it to the ring finger. Oops. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to work that last stitch, pick it up and move it onto the ring finger, and knit this one up and over and tighten it up. Okay, and we've completed that row, or we've completed that that length there. So we'll pick it up from our ring finger and put it on our index finger, and now you're ready to begin your next strip of connecting. So you just take it and flip it this way, and then that way it's all ready for you to start picking them up. All right, so you've got it. So if this is the very end and your last width that you wanted, you would just take your scissors and cut that off, and then you're just going to pull this all the way through. And that's all you need to know. And then you just take these 2 strands, the beginning and the end. This might be way down at the other side. And you'll just take a tapestry needle and weave it into the sides, and you are done. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure and click down and give us a comment down below, like that, and hit the subscribe button for videos every Friday. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.